Here's your explanation for the digital book annotated bibliography assignment. So when you are completing your research paper, you are going to be required to um, find sources and cite them in your paper to give credibility to your paper. You're going to have a minimum number of sources that you are required to cite depending on which version of the project you've had. If you need to cite more, that's perfectly fine. The more research, the better, honestly. But it's always good to gather more information than you might need. So, for example, for this version of the assignment, you're required to find at least 5 credible sources because you're ultimately going to have to use 3 of them in your paper. It's always easier to toss some out that you're not going to need versus thinking you found enough, and then once you start writing your paper, realizing you don't have enough and then having to research again. So it's kind of like that 1 step forward, 2 steps backward as you're trying to write your paper here. I am assuming that you're relying heavily on online sources because you're not going to, more than likely, you're not an expert on your big topic for this assignment. So when you're using websites, it's important to gather all of the information. So you might have to explore the website a bit to find what you need. Often scrolling to the bottom of the web page is a very good starting point. But you should have the author, the title, where it's from, and the link to that information. Okay. So a couple things you need to consider as you are researching your information is the source credible? So what does that mean? One of the biggest ways to help identify whether or not a source is credible is if it ends in .edu, .org, or .gov, because those are generally credible sources. You still have to be creative, or not creative, careful, and look over it with a very critical eye. There can be bias or a hidden agenda on any site anymore. So you want to really find those sites that give a very unbiased opinion, or not an opinion, but unbiased facts as you are researching. So the best way is you can click on these for more information, and I really encourage that you read these independently, but you want to consider the audience, who has the authority over the publication, the accuracy of the publication, is it free from those spelling errors, is it well written, is it objective, and the currency of the website. If you have something written from 2003, it's probably not going to be very credible because a lot's changed in the past 16 years. So, and then also consider the URL. Okay, both of these sites have a lot of helpful information. You just click on the links, and if you're not quite sure if your source is credible, go to these sites to help evaluate whether or not they are. Mrs. Heslett, who is another teacher on the British literature team, has created a incredibly helpful video to learn how to use InfoOhio. If you have not used it before, I really recommend using InfoOhio. They help create work citations for you. All the work that's in there is credible and you can trust it. You can also use the Ohio Web Library, the Internet Public Library, or if you're a fan of Google, use the Google Advanced Search. Okay. Once you begin this assignment, you need to copy and paste what your big topic is at the top here. Then what you're going to do is copy and paste the URL, the author's full name, the title of the article, the publisher or sponsoring organization of the site, the date of the publication or last modified date of site, a brief summary of the information in the source provides, and how this information will be helpful. How does it relate to your topic? Be as specific and detailed as you can be here. Not only is this going to give me an idea how well you're doing when you're doing with your research, but when you go back after spring break to complete this assignment, and it might not be as fresh in your brain, you'll be able to go, oh yes, this assignment has this really helpful information that's going to help me develop my paper. So you want to be as specific as possible here. If you have any questions at all about this assignment or what you need to be doing, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to help you out. Thank you.